Today we'll be going over the top 6 movie stars of all time. Number 6, Laurence Olivier. A thespian of the stage, Laurence Olivier was the king of Shakespeare at the movies. In fact, nearly all his adaptations from the playwright's work, many of which he directed as well as starred in, are considered among the very best ever put to screen. During Hollywood's golden age, there was arguably no one finer, capable of being a commanding leading man or simply a great supporting player to have in your toolbox. It's almost unimaginable to think that he never won any kind of Best Actor Oscar. Though he later received an honorary award in 1979, sometimes it takes years to realize greatness.
God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Nay, not so much, not two. So excellent a king that was to this hype.
Number 5, Daniel Day-Lewis. No other actor in film history has gone to such lengths for the sake of staying in character. Day-Lewis does not have the extensive library of projects as some of our other contestants, can't blame them for being picky, but his reputation for completely transforming into characters both on and off screen has made him a legend. So what about range? Well, this is probably no better demonstrated than the 2 films Day-Lewis has done with Martin Scorsese. In The Age of Innocence, we see Day-Lewis get a very restrained performance, but it is one that is also incredibly romantic. It's a complete 180 from his role as Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York, where Day-Lewis is much more menacing, brutish, and sporadically violent. Sadly, when it comes to how iconic his performances have been in the lexicon of pop culture, Day-Lewis has fallen a bit short. The one performance that's a no-brainer for this category is his Oscar-winning turn in P.T. Anderson's There Will Be Blood. Number 4, Al Pacino. When discussing Pacino's career, you really have to look at 2 incredible runs he's had. The first of these runs came during the 70s and the early 80s. It's here Pacino did arguably the finest work in movies like Panic at the Needle Park, the first 2 Godfather films, Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico, and Scarface. The second run came nearly a decade in the dark during the 80s. Pacino's 90s run includes a slew of great movies such as Heat, The Insider, Donnie Brasco, and Glengarry Glen Ross. In terms of bringing intensity and commanding the screen, Pacino is phenomenal. You always get the feeling that this man simply loves the craft of acting and being able to perform. However, Pacino rarely became a character. He was always playing himself to some extent, or at least the persona he had developed over the years. This pattern is especially noticeable in his performances after winning the Oscar for Scent of a Woman in 1992. Yet Pacino has proven, even at old age, to throw curveballs at his persona. He played an aging rock star in the movie Danny Collins a few years ago, showcasing a gentler side to him as a star that most have not seen. Number 3, Jack Nicholson. With Nicholson, you never know what you're going to get. The man is a wild card, unpredictable, hilarious one moment and terrifying the next. He has a fearlessness to him, a willingness to be unlikable or play off-putting characters in any one of the many films he has starred in over the years. You often worried whether or not he was going to go too off the rails. I mean, how far was he going to take it? I think Nicholson is a master of range. There's a great YouTube video from the Nerdwriter channel about how Nicholson not only demonstrated a range of different emotions within his various roles, but found ways to add a depth, a hidden meaning behind the emotions themselves, especially anger. Number 2, Robert De Niro. If Nicholson was an explosive piece of dynamite, De Niro was a surgical knife. Every mannerism, line delivery, and bit of body language feels calculated to the T. Yeah, De Niro's career in recent years has not been the finest, but when he was the top of his game, working with exceptional directors and taking roles that fascinated him, he was without equal. Similar to Pacino, De Niro's career holsters 2 incredible runs in the 70s and 90s. For years, there has even been a debate as to who was the better of the 2 Italian-American actors, a debate that has reached its apex with the movie Heat in 1995. Number 1, Marlon Brando. It's hard to sum up just how large of an impact Brando has had on the world of acting, and especially male actors in the movies. His rise to stardom came in the 1950s and continued to flourish well into the 1970s. What made Brando such a draw in the beginning was a kind of bad boy sex appeal, mixed with raw intensity that made his performances feel more real and emotional. His roles in the 70s were perhaps even more fascinating because of how off the rails Brando could be on set. Films such as Apocalypse Now, where he played a supporting role and notoriously came to set without lines memorized, offers moments of lightning in a bottle greatness. This brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.